All right, hope y'all had a wonderful, wonderful Christmas. And I hope you got what you wanted and not what you deserved, or else you'd be shit out of luck. But anyway, yeah, hope you had a great Christmas. New Year's coming up, great time of the year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everybody out there. I will be live today at 3:30, Georgia Tech and Vandy. We'll see. These bowl games are hit or miss, with opt-outs and transfers and whatever, but I'll be live at 3:30 over on the Patreon page for the Georgia Tech Vandy game. That link is in the description if you want to check it out. And I'm probably going to go live, I don't know, maybe during the Oklahoma-Navy game at noon, maybe Syracuse-Washington State tonight, maybe some of both. It's kind of up in the air, so just make sure you have notifications turned on. But we will be live today, hanging out, watching these bowl games. Got bowl games all day starting at noon. And the Patreon poll this week for today's games, they voted for Georgia Tech Vandy. So 3:30, Georgia Tech versus Vandy, live over on the Uncle Lou Patreon link in the description. But let's talk about some of these bowl games. Oklahoma and Navy, dangerous game for Oklahoma here. Listen, Oklahoma, man, you're in the SEC now. You're not in the Big 12. Your floundering around days need to be over. You cannot be losing to service academies as a member of the SEC, okay? As the official spokesperson here, I'm talking super official too. I'm demanding you not lose to a service academy. Now look, I got nothing against Navy. I like Navy and Army. It's fun to watch them, root for them, the whole thing, Merc, freedom, and all that. Yes, liberty and justice for all. But the bottom line, this is football, not war, and you need to win this fucking game. Now, something alarming is going on with the betting line. Oklahoma opened up as about a 3-point favorite in this game over Navy. It's all the way down to 1. 1 point. You're favored by 1 point over a service academy. As an SEC team, you better not let Uncle Lou down here. Now, I'm not going to bet this game. These bowl games are just too finicky. Again, with the people not playing. Of course, Jackson Arnold transferred to Auburn, but he was benched there anyway, like 3 different times this year. Oklahoma's been a mess. But this is a fucking service academy. Bruh. Don't let me down, bud. Don't let me down. The over-under is 43.5. I do like the under. Oklahoma has no offense, period. They're just abysmal, unless they're playing Alabama. Alabama's about the only team Oklahoma can score on. Wow. Jesus Christ. Who'd have thought that? In Navy, of course, triple option team, I would expect them to try to slow the game down some. So I do like under 43.5 points scored in that game. But as far as picking a side, Oklahoma or Navy, I'm not going to bet on it. But Oklahoma, don't fucking let Uncle Lou down. 3:30, that game comes on noon, by the way, on ESPN. 3:30 is the Georgia Tech Vandy game. I think this would have been a great game during the regular season, and maybe it'll be a great game today, but that's my point about you really have to look and pay attention and know who has opted out, who hasn't. Diego Poverty, the quarterback at Vandy, I guess is expected to play today since he won his lawsuit and has another year of eligibility now. He's obviously not going pro or to an insurance company to sell policies. He'll be back at Vandy next year, so he'll be playing. Haynes King at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech did lose their, was it their number 1 wide receiver? In any case, one of their best wide receivers has already transferred out, so they'll be without him. Again, hard to really know which side to come down on here. Motivation, which team is more excited to be there. Both of these teams, really, given where their programs have been, should honestly be just happy to be in a bowl game, right? Georgia Tech sort of wandered the desert there under Jeff Collins. They've turned it around a little under Brent Key. And Vanderbilt had a pretty good year this year compared to normal, right? Of course, beating Alabama, close, and a couple of other ones, nearly beat Texas. Got bowl eligible, which is a rarity for Vandy. So I would think these would be 2 teams who aren't looking at this bowl game as a disappointment, which can be a big deal in bowl games, right? Some teams have expectations that are up here. They don't meet them, so they end up in a bowl game that's down here, and you don't really know how motivated that team is going to be to show up and kind of play in the bowl. I don't think that will be the case in this game. I would expect both teams to play well. Georgia Tech's a 3-point favorite. I'm actually leaning Georgia Tech in this one, but again, it's so dangerous betting these bowl games, but I'm leaning Georgia Tech in that one. The over-under is 49.5. I kind of like the under in that one, too. At 7 o'clock tonight, we have Texas Tech and Arkansas. Texas Tech might be a team to watch next year in the Big 12. They were decent this year. I think they went 8-4. Now, I was really high on them a couple of years ago, and they ended up letting me down. This year was a decent year. We'll see about them for next year. Arkansas, of course, not a very good team this year. Sam Pittman and Bobby Petrino running the show there. Texas Tech is actually favored in this game over Arkansas by 2.5. We'll see. Syracuse at Washington State. Syracuse is favored by 18. Washington State, of course, has lost their quarterback to the portal, and he was one of the best quarterbacks available in the portal this year, so that tells you how good he was for Washington State. Could he be next year's Cam Ward? We'll see. Cam Ward, of course, at Washington State came to Miami and had a monster season. We'll see. But anyway, Syracuse is a massive favorite here. I do expect Syracuse to win. They're favored by 18. I like Syracuse minus 18. I know that's a big number, especially for a bowl game, but Syracuse was 9-3 this year, quietly 9-3. No one talks about it. Syracuse had a pretty good year. First-year head coach Fran Brown. They've got Honda McCord, who transferred from Ohio State, had a pretty good year at quarterback. I like Syracuse. I like what they got going on. Washington State without their quarterback. Give me Syracuse minus 18. That's at 8 o'clock tonight on Fox. And then super late, 10:30 on ESPN, Southern Cal at Texas A&M. Now, this might be a really good game. I don't know how many people are going to stay up late to watch it. Southern Cal versus Texas A&M in the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. So Uncle Lou's home away from hometown team there. Not team, but city, Vegas. Southern Cal at Texas A&M. Texas A&M favored by 3.5. I'm going to take Texas A&M here. Southern Cal has lost an absolute boatload to the portal already. It's a free-for-all there. Plus, they're just not very good to begin with. Texas A&M, not a great season, really, even though technically, were they the third best team in the SEC? No, they weren't. But because of some scheduling quirks, had they beat Texas in that game a couple of weeks ago, they would have played in the SEC championship game. So a decent year for first-year head coach Mike Elko at Texas A&M, although I don't think they're a great team. They wound up in position at the end, coming up a little bit short of making the SEC championship game. They're favored by 3.5, and I actually like Texas A&M in that one. So anyway, live at 3:30 today on Patreon for all of the Georgia Tech Vandy game. That's 100% for certain. Link to the Patreon page in the description of the video. Click the link, come hang out with us, watch Georgia Tech Vandy. We have a really good time on the Patreon streams. And then I will be live other times today. I'm not 100% certain on what times I will go live. Maybe during the Oklahoma Navy game, maybe during the Syracuse-Washington State game tonight. Maybe we even stay on late and watch some of the Southern Cal Texas A&M game. Just be hit or miss. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you got notifications turned on. Leave a comment down below. Let me know which of these bowl games you're most excited to watch today. And I'll talk to you again soon. Have a good morning.